Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Visalia, California. We are here coming live to you for this 15 minutes of meditation. I welcome everyone at home. I just invite you to enjoy the peace and solitude of meditation. And as you move into your meditation today, I invite you to take this thought with you. This is one of our spiritual principles from our global vision. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. So I just invite you to contemplate that as you meditate. We'll be back at 10:15. Oh, what beautiful music. I invite each and every one of you to return now to this place and time, wherever you may be, in your home or here in the sanctuary. It's time now when we'll be welcoming everyone here in the sanctuary. We're going to have our meet and greet. So for those of you who are at home out in cyberspace, get yourself a beverage and a donut or a crumpet or something, and make yourself comfortable for the next hour or so, because we've got a real special service coming along for you. We'll see you at 10:30. Don't miss it.
You're not inserting a bar.
Well, oh, okay, so what I, just, yeah, we don't have to. I was just thinking. No.
It's what you want. You just don't want to have a train wreck.
Yeah. But if you want to add some tones in there also. Okay, got it. Right. I didn't want to try and come up with too much arrangement on this, just on a Sunday out of nowhere, but maybe that would be.
I just didn't want to drop that somewhere that it didn't feel right. So it'll be like, I'm gonna let you complete that phrase or count.
chasing the spiritual life.
Oh, so I have either way.
Hello. Tell him he's here.
Well, I took a picture of it, but I don't know where it's at now. I don't know what happened.
Check, 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 check.
Are you sure? Okay.
It'll be a version of what's there.
Okay.
I remember last words, and then I fill in with the feel.
If you want, it's right there.
As a result.
Yeah. You can.
Just gonna do it.
Shh. Check.
Check, 1, 2, check.
Let's see. No. A little early right now. Okay. Here we go. From the day we arrive on this planet, blinking, step into the sun. There's more to see than can never be seen, more to do than can never be done. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can ever be found. With the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky, keeps great and small on the endless round. In the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding, in the circle of life.
Some of us fall by the wayside. Some of us soar in the soil. Some of us sail through our troubles. Some have to live with the scars. 'Cause there's far too much to take in here, more to find that can never be found. But the sun rolling high to the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life,
And it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place
my goodness. Oh. So, I tell you what, everybody. Oh my goodness, we have moved into a new paradigm in this center. I am so excited to welcome you here today, wherever you may be out there and in here. I am Reverend Nan Bankston. I am the senior minister here in this center, and this is such a wonderful day in the neighborhood. You know, I love Mr. Rogers. This day in the neighborhood, well, first, let's do this. Anybody here for the first time? Y'all here for the first time? Just raise your hands. And oh, wonderful. We got new people all over this place. How wonderful. And if you're new out there, we are so happy you are with us. Make sure you stick around. The best is yet to come, I promise you. And today is Birthday Sunday. So, anybody got birthdays in November here? Raise your hand. We've got cake. That ought to get some hands up, whether it's November or not for your birthday. All right. That's right. We got at least 15 November birthdays out here. Go ahead, Kevin. Should we sing a little birthday song? Deanna, would you like to step up and do a little birthday song with us? And then I'm going to get to some most exciting news.
Awesome.
Go for it. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday for November. Happy birthday to you. Awesome. Thank you. And so, as we opened our service today, and you heard Circle of Life, you know, last week, a couple of weeks ago, we announced that we were so incredibly blessed to have Deanna Saldana, who just sang birthday for us, as a new musical coordinator vocalist here. And today, through the miracle of Spirit's magic, we now have two. So if you enjoyed hearing Hope Garcia singing this morning with Kevin, I just want to tell you that she's also going to be with us full-time as a music coordinator, song leader, and this is going to be something like you've never seen before, folks, as these two women and our band, when all of our regular fellas are back, even though these are, you know, we got to give props to Kurt and props to Joey for filling in. When everybody gets back here and they're doing their thing, I'm telling you what, it's already in operation. So we know that we are so blessed with some of the finest music and the finest people who have been singing for a long time and playing for a long time, and it's just going to keep getting to be more and more magnificent. So, I'm so excited to welcome both of you, Hope and Deanna. And today we're going to hear from Deanna a lot. Next week, Hope officially starts, but she kind of slid in just to give us a preview, you know, just kind of sneaking in. So be ready. You don't want to miss anything here. Now, I also want to mention that next Sunday, starting next Sunday, I'm going to be doing this little ka-ching program, and it's a very, very, very fast, fun way to grow money in your own pocket. I'm going to be teaching you how to open your hearts and your minds and your spirits to the divine prosperity of all that is, the infinite abundance. And so there's going to be something special for the first 10 people who stay after next week who want to participate in this, and you're already going to be experiencing prosperity just in staying for that event. It's fun. It's going to go from next week until the 19th of December, just in time for you to be having all sorts of cash in your pocket for the holidays and what have you. So make sure you don't miss it. It's just fast, fun, and just really, really easy. So I'm going to pass off the rest of the announcements to Miss Sheila, our board president.
Good morning. Am I on? Am I on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I am so grateful to be here and so grateful for this place and for Deanna and Hope and all of you. I'm so grateful that on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, there's going to be a gratitude service here. Yeah, a gratitude service when we can come and express our gratitude. I know we express it all year long, but this is the month of gratitude as far as I'm concerned. So Thanksgiving Eve, come. We'll have a short gratitude service, and then we'll have pie and cookies and whatever else anybody wants to bring in the way of desserts. Because my mother always told me when you get to be an adult, you can eat dessert before Thanksgiving dinner. So what better time than Thanksgiving Eve so you're ready for the next day? Yeah, I just make it up as I go. For the next 3 weeks, we'll be having our book sale. There have been a lot of gently used books that have been donated for the book sale. So you might find some that have a few highlights in it. I love books like that because I can go right to what somebody else thought was wonderful. So there's a lot of books that'll be 50% off in the bookstore. So be sure and take a peruse through the bookstore and see what's there and take advantage of the sale. So that'll be going for the next 3 weeks. Now, Maria, in case this wasn't big enough, how about this? Yeah, the Rosalinda Verde concert is coming up on November 13th, and Donna over here, not to be outdone, has the newspaper article and, even better, the tickets. So there are still tickets available. We need to sell 56 more, something like that. At least 15. So between 15 and 50 more. So you can see Donna right afterwards. Or if you catch Maria, she'll show you where Donna is. And you can get your tickets for the concert. Thanks, Maria. You're the best. She's our poster girl. Our own special Vanna. There we go. And the most exciting announcement is the board meeting after service today. Yeah, I know the board members are anxious to get to it. Yeah, I know I am. And it's open to the public, so anybody who wants to come and see what's going on with the board, or if you're at home out there in Cyberland, you can actually go to the link that's on the webpage and attend the board meeting via Zoom. We do it as a hybrid meeting. So the board meeting will be at 12:30 today. We started putting times on all the topics, so hopefully we get it done really fast. So come and join. Remember that decisions are made by those who show up. And so if you show up and you give us your opinion about something, that informs us as board members and helps us to make better, more well-informed decisions. And now next, I'm going to introduce Bobby Levine to do our diversity purpose and diversity quote. Bobby?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Am I on? Can you hear me? Thank you. Well, first I'd like to read the diversity and inclusivity purpose statement. It is, to welcome all with love by listening with open hearts and minds and through honest, non-judgmental discussion to learn, share, and foster a consciousness of inclusivity in order to best serve our center community and the world. So, the quote I have this morning is from Maya Angelou. It is time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength. Thank you very much.
I am Sharon Bannister, and I'm the practitioner for this week. And the first thing that I am going to do is read our purpose statement. Not our purpose statement, one of our beliefs. This is something that we hold very dear to what we think and believe and live. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. And taking that thought now into positive prayer, I will also be in the room, which is not lit right now, but will be, if anybody would like a very brief, quick, positive prayer. There also are cards on the table over there by the stairs that you can write a request for a prayer, and I will do that for you as well. So now, knowing that creativity is everywhere, as is spirit, I'm going to offer a prayer for us all right now. I know that I am one with spirit. Spirit being everywhere possible, every single person, here and everywhere, is also one with spirit. Being one with spirit, I know that I am part of the creative process that is spirit. With the infinite possibilities of choices out there for each one of us every day to make unlimited possibilities happen for us. I know that each of us, using that creative ability that we all have, imagine ourselves as our best selves and make every decision, every choice toward that best self. I know that each person here and everywhere is greater than they realize. I know that I have more than what I am in my little human experience. And as I reach deep down into my heart, I know I can make better choices for good. And I know each person here, each person everywhere can do the same. I am so grateful to have this knowledge, to know that creativity is mine, that the good everywhere each of us chooses helps to create good for the whole world. I release these words directly to the law of mind, knowing that it is already done. And we say together, and so it is. And now this wonderful experience we're having today in this service continues. This being reimagined like we have done over some months. This is something I never would have realized that we could be. This music community is growing leaps and bounds. And I am so happy right now to turn it over to our wonderful music people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a blessing to be here, a blessing amongst all of you. And music, of course, is one of the things that combines us all. So please, if you'd like to join, I know you guys know this song. I know you know it. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, that's a prequel, man. Little jump on that one. They liked it so much they wanted to play it too early. All righty, let's go. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Get it. Oh, my goodness. I just know that y'all didn't know we hired Louis Armstrong, too. This is so fun. I tell you what, was this not just so fun? You know, this was beautiful. Thank you so much, Deanna. This is actually her premiere here, and it is superb. And you had just a little prequel to the special music, so stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss that. And I have a little special message about that when we get to it. Well, good morning again. And as I have said before, we are so very blessed to have such great talent in our group here, with Deanna and Hope both joining us. What a magnificent blessing. And you know, Sharon, when you talked about the reimagining that you did before I ever even got here last year and everything, when we had our board retreat in September, the theme that I gave our leadership team was limitless. And I believe that we are absolutely seeing the limitlessness of musical spirit here within us now. And I am grateful, because it's the consciousness of all you and leadership that have made these changes possible. So, I am so excited. And you know, it is the first Sunday, so we're going to have cake, and it won't be long, and then you can get to it, so don't worry about that. I cannot believe that it is November. You know, the time has just been flying by since I moved here, and we're coming up to Thanksgiving and New Year's, and then a whole brand new year of life. You know, as was mentioned in our announcements, we're going to have a Thanksgiving Eve service, and I encourage everyone to put that on the calendar so that you can come and be grateful for all the desserts that we're going to share before Thanksgiving. Now, seriously, it's going to be a nice little gratitude service. And then we will have our little snacks. And we've got other things coming up. We're going to have a Christmas Eve service. I think with all this beautiful music talent, we're going to have a little Christmas concert after service one day. That should be fun to look for. We've got a New Year's Eve day meditation coming up at 4 a.m. for those of you who are out cruising early in the morning. It will be on Zoom, though, I assure you. And then we move into 2022, and it will be a whole new way of life. You know, our new theme for November, speaking of new things, is Breathe in the View. Now, we've been on a journey this year
to incorporate timeless wisdom into creating our own collective evolutionary vision and our own and collective evolutionary vision of life. As we've moved up the spiral, as we've gone through some messages and thoughts, we've arrived at a grander view of life and our infinite potential. So my talk title today is The Panorama of Life, and it kind of fit with the circle of life that we opened with. So the question I have for you today is, are we looking at life from a microscopic view of criticality and fault finding? Or are we seeing the truly magnificent landscape of life that is filled with the panorama of beauty, that wonderful world that Deanna and all of us just sang about? You know, Eric Butterworth noted, regardless of the appearances of conflicts or limitations, see everything from the awareness of the allness of life. From the view from the top, you will see things so creatively. I wonder how often we all become transfixed by the perceived conflicts or limitations of our day-to-day living. You know, microscopically, a single bacteria or a virus is negligible compared to a normal human cell. If we were microbes viewing life, we would see a single cell as a huge mountain or perhaps an enormous obstacle compared to our relative size. And yet, the single bacteria or the virus is undaunted by the sheer enormity of the task of invading that cell to create imbalance that can ultimately lead to infection. That microbe is programmed to selectively exclude any interference. Now, we as humans, well, we've got that potential to use filtering systems also. Yet most of our filtering systems are based in beliefs that may or may not be true because we have believed them so long and we've created reality from them. We see what we see, we have a tendency to believe it as what it is, and then we become or we produce more of the same until we get a new idea about how we could be. Deepak Chopra offers this interpretation. What you see, you become. What you see is a selective act of attention and interpretation. Although you are inundated by billions of bits of sensory impulses every moment, you selectively filter out the vast majority, allowing only a very small fraction into your awareness. What you allow into your awareness is determined by your habitual patterns of seeing and interpreting the world. Your attention and interpretations create what you see and ultimately determine what you believe. A belief is simply an interpretation that you hold to be true. And I'd like to share a little story that illustrates this idea. It's a special little story. There was a man named Falk and his wife Hilda, and they lived a long time ago in a land far away. Now, he was the village baker. He was a tall, slender man with a sharp chin and a thin, sharp nose, and he was an upstanding man known throughout the village as one of the most righteous people in town. But old Falk, he was the sort of man who kind of sprayed his righteousness all over everybody, and he was no fun to be with. So while people had some respect for him, they kept their distance. Now his wife Hilda, she was entirely different. She was this little short, round, warm, loving person who people just couldn't stay away from. They just loved to be with her and talk with her. She was the center of warmth in that bakery. Hilda loved her husband very much, yet Hilda got very, very little love in return. There was a longing and a yearning in her. Well, one day, Falk stayed at the bakery until very early in the morning, kneading the bread for the day's baking. And he came home, and he found a stranger in his bedroom. Well, he was hurt and saddened, of course. Word of the incident spread through town. It was small, as small towns talk. You know how that goes. Everyone thought since he was such a righteous man that he would most surely cast Hilda out of his life. But he said to her and to the entire town that I, as the good book directs, forgive my wife, and she shall stay with me. Now that was his public proclamation. Yet in his heart, he hated her. He flat out hated her. And every time he looked at her, his hate increased. Oh, sure, he had said publicly that he had forgiven her. But he kept punishing her with his self-righteous hatefulness. Now, his dishonesty about forgiveness did not sit well in heaven. In fact, an angel was sent to him. And every time Falk looked at his wife with hate, a little pebble the size of a shirt button was dropped into his heart. And every time that little pebble fell in, he felt a piercing pain which caused him to hate Hilda even more. And when that happened, even more stones fell down and came in. So he was in this deteriorating cycle until his heart was so heavy that he was bent over so much that he could hardly look straight ahead. It got so bad that he began praying to die. He was so weighted down with pain and hate. In a dream, the angel returned to him and said, "If you want to heal a wounded heart, then you must have magic eyes." Saying in effect, you must be able to see a bigger picture and have a bigger perspective about that painful event in your life. If you keep it to that little interpretation around your ego and anger and hate, then you stay stuck and heavy. Falk, in the middle of his dream, shouted, "But she's guilty. She did what she did. She betrayed me." And the angel said, "Oh, hurting human, you cannot change the past, but you can change the hurt of the past. It is only through magic eyes that you can do this." And Falk sarcastically asked, "Oh, how am I to get these magic eyes you speak of?" And the angel said, "Simply, very simply, you must ask deeply and sincerely, desiring them, and they shall be yours." Well, the dream ended, but Falk didn't ask for the eyes for quite some time. He had become accustomed to the pain, and it had even become something of a friend to him, as pain can become. However, the pain finally became too great. And one day in desperation, he yelled out, "Give me magic eyes. I truly, truly, truly want them." Instantly, his life shifted. He began to see Hilda in a new light. Every time he looked at her in a new way, a stone was removed from his heart. He began to see that she was a woman of great love, and she only wanted love. He began to see himself more clearly. And every time he did, 2 stones were taken from his heart. He began to see how he had shut out everyone from his life. He saw how distant he had become. And every time he looked at himself and Hilda, the pebbles were removed and he became light. He saw the possibilities of his life and invited Hilda and others into his heart. And his life was restored. Now that's a very sweet story by Lewis Smedes from Forgive and Forget, Healing the Hurts We Don't Deserve. And it's an interesting story, isn't it? And how many of us can say that we've longed for those magic eyes to erase past anger, pain, or hurt? Well, here's today's good news. I always have good news. Those magic eyes already exist within you. They are your spiritual eyes that know only love, peace, beauty, and joy. They are the eyes of spirit within you that you can choose to use whenever you want to. However, our microscopic human vision of finding fault driven by our criticality is oftentimes a barrier to remembering who we really are. We are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in human form. Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder of religious science, mentions this in his words that heal today on page 22. It is only when we view life from the standpoint of an expanding soul, destined forever to exist somewhere, that we can either make either sense or sanity out of human experience. If we view life from the standpoint that each is an evolving soul destined to live forever somewhere, we shall see that in the long run, life must return to us that which we reflect into it. Just as the baker reflected anger and righteousness towards everyone, so did he create his world of pain. It was all a matter of perspective. When he began to look through his spiritual eyes of kindness and love, his world and his life changed dramatically. Wayne Dyer suggested this in his book, Staying on the Path. And I do so love this quote. Everything in your life is a miracle to be cherished. A grain of sand, a bee on a flower, a sailboat, a cup of coffee, a wet diaper. Yep, a caterpillar. They're all miracles. And when you learn to view life and everything in it as a miracle, you soon see that complaining is a waste of the miracle that you are. As I look out at all of you today, that is all I see. I see seats full of miracles, individual expressions of the divine with infinite potential and possibilities available in each life. We are all miracles living life. Dr. Holmes writes in the Science of Mind text on page 187, never limit your view of life by any past experience. The possibility of life is inherent within the capacity to imagine what life is, backed by the power to produce this image or divine imagination. So my question for you today now is, what's your view of life? What's your view of life? Are you living the fullness of your spiritual expression that is your birthright? Or are you hanging on to the past like Falk? Are you holding on to dark times, anger, and frustration, and seeing the panorama of life through that microscopic tiny view of pain and anger? Well, don't you think it's about time to treat yourself to some loving kindness and fire up your spiritual lenses of love? You know, Pema Chodron writes, practicing loving kindness illuminates the darkness of the most difficult of times. Begin to see yourself and your circumstances through eyes filled with love and kindness. And as you do that, you will be amazed. You will be amazed at the shift in your world. You know, Max Planck, the winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics some years ago, said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, the easiest way to change the way we look at things is to shift our perspective. As we learn to turn away from the appearances of any situation and lift our consciousness out of the material scene, we see every situation from a place of spiritual truth. And there is an old Hindu proverb that says, if you look up, there are no limits. Now, you may remember travels that you've taken, movies that you've seen, or scenes in photographs that provided panoramic views, and they were often breathtaking. And as you take a panoramic view of life, you will feel the absolute freedom that provides. Most of the time, our daily spiritual practices will shift our view. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote in his essay, Self-Reliance, which all of my Roots students loved. Ralph said, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. And prayer aligns us with that loving presence within and resets our focus from that micro to the macro view of life, that panoramic view. Yet, if our regular spiritual practices or prayer, contemplation, or meditation don't seem to be quite getting us there to achieve a lasting shift, and you're feeling stuck or you're challenged with shifting your vision to a wider view, our prayer practitioners and I are here to assist you with that. We are trained to see that panorama of life and look to the pure potential of indwelling spirit in everyone. And I just want to assure you, it is more than okay to get assistance for making those shifts sometimes, you know? All of us have times when we can't see the forest for the trees, so to speak. Our lives, present and future, are ours to create through infinite intelligence and divine wisdom that exists right within us. It's all about how we view it. Today and the rest of our life lies before us like a blank page and remains unwritten until we take up our pens of personal power and freedom of choice and write and create the lives we truly want and deserve. I invite each of us to lift our eyes to the highest and grandest view of life today and every day. As we do that, we become a light of inspiration for others so that they may understand that they have that same power within them. And as we share that panoramic view of life, of spiritual magnificence, we demonstrate that this wonderful world is always available to everyone. And so it is. And now I'd like to have you just join me in a prayer. In this moment, in this space, in this time, I give great gratitude, knowing that there is only one power, one infinite presence, one creative essence through which all life has been formed. All creation has been formed before, during, and after, throughout all time, all space, all eternity. It is in me, it is as me, it is me. And I know that this is true for every person within the sound of my voice here and beyond. And as we are all connected through that intricate warp and weft of the tapestry of the universe, I know that that infinite love courses in through and as each of us. And as we lift our hearts and our eyes up to see that panoramic view of the infinite possibilities and joy and power and beauty and peace in our lives, together we co-create a world that does work for everyone. I see the trees of green, and I see babies, and I see people who are breathing clean air, and I see the beauty and wonder of nature that is restored to its original divine pattern of perfection. I see animals roaming freely in the areas that once belonged to them. I see all peoples coming together in harmony. And this vision I know to be true, for it is a vision in the mind of God that is within me and is available to all beings everywhere. Just as we lift up our eyes and see the truth of who we are, spiritual beings, spiritually magnificent beings, living this life with purpose and joy and love. And I know that love always prevails, and so I give great thanks. I send great gratitude out beyond all beyond. And in this moment, I simply release this word, my word, directly into that law of mine that always, always, always says, yes, my beloveds, yes. And together we may affirm it by saying, and so it is. And now you get to hear the rest of the prequel. Deanna, would you favor us with this magnificent track? Now, I want to bring out a point here. Deanna's going to be singing to a music track, but what you need to know is that her voice is on every part of that track. So it's all 100% Deanna on the music that she's accompanied by, and she's going to be doing the rest of it live right here. Take it away, girl.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, pen in my hand, and
Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Get yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is all unwritten. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the line. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes. Oh, I didn't live that way, no. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Get yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Put yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Get yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Let yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten.
Yes. Now that's what I'm talking about. Your book is still unwritten. That page is unwritten. Get out there and write it. Get out and write it. Oh, what a blessing we have with these beautiful people who are doing our music. Thank you, God. We are so blessed. So, right now it's time for our prosperity affirmation. And I just want to take a minute to say thank you for everyone who has donated so graciously and generously. As we come into the winter, we're going to find our expenses increasing, and so there'll be an opportunity for everyone to use their ka-ching prosperity techniques and continue to give greatly and greatly and greatly as the flow of abundance that we receive comes back a hundredfold to the giver. We live in a reciprocal universe, and it must be so. So if you want to take your gifts, okay. So if you'd like to take your gifts and we can share this prosperity affirmation, I just invite you to place your gift over your heart, time, talent, treasure, whatever it may be, and bless it silently, and then you can repeat after me. As I share my gift, I celebrate the prosperity and abundance in my life. Let's say that again together. Here we go. As I share my gift, I celebrate the prosperity and abundance of my life. And so it is. I'm going to do a little tinkle there for us. A little tinkly, tinkly. And I affirm right here and now that the abundance and prosperity that exists in this center, in this community, in every person's life is expanding exponentially through the great love of the infinite within them. And as that expansion continues, the life of every being that it touches is greatly enhanced in so many ways through the time, the talent, and the treasures that are given so freely with love and joy. So very grateful. So very, very grateful to know that the abundant flow of Spirit moves in through and as every being to the extent that we believe and we receive. And it is my great privilege to receive these gifts for our center, these gifts of love. I give great, great thanks. I bless them. I know that they do good right here. They do good for everyone who gave them. And I know that they do good in our community, and they go out beyond and do good around the globe. And for this, I am so very, very grateful. And so I just say thank you, and I let it be. And so it is. Thank you, Kevin. I do like that. Well, here we are, and now it's time for this thing that we do called the peace song. And we got so many people here today, we should be able to just go right around these chairs for sure. But usually what happens here, and I invite you to do whatever is most comfortable for you, is we make a circle, and we're going to sing the peace song together. And then when that's all done, I'll do a little benediction, and you will enjoy it. I guarantee it. Amen, sisters and brothers. Yep. So just be comfortable in whatever you're going to be doing here. Come on down. Come on, squeeze in. We can get everybody in here. A couple of weeks ago, they had my mic on, and all anybody heard over YouTube was me singing and the bass player. So I made sure I shut that off because nobody needs to hear that. Well, the bass player maybe, but certainly not me. Alrighty, so this is how this benediction thing works, for those of you who haven't been here before. And for those of you who have, you know exactly what's going to happen next. So if you will repeat after me, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my body. Life is in my mind. Oh, it's in the body of my affairs, each and every one of them. Yes, indeed. I think it. Oh, I feel it. I know it. And I love it. And I love it just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. And I say, thank you, life. And thank you so much all for being here today. I look forward to it again, and we will see you soon. Party on.
Check.
Ooh, Sunday morning rain is falling. Still some cover shares some skin. Clouds are shining us in moments unforgettable. You switch to fit the mood that I'm in. Things just get so crazy, living like it's hard to do. I'd gladly hit the road, pick up and go if I knew that someday it will lead me back to you. That someday it will lead me back to you. That may be all I need. In darkness he is all I see. Come and rest your bones with me. Riding slow on Sunday morning, and I never wanna leave. Fingers trace your every outline. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Paint a picture with my hands. Hey. Back and forth we sway like branches in a storm. Change the weather, still together when it ends. That may be all I need. In darkness she is all I see. Now come and rest your bones with me. Riding slow on Sunday morning, and I never want to leave. No, 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 no. That may be all I need. In darkness she is all I see. Come and rest your bones with me. Riding slow on Sunday morning, and I never want to leave. Woo!
All right, Kevin.
That may be all I need. In darkness you are all I see. Come and rest your bones with me. Riding slow on Sunday morning, I never want to leave. You are wonderful. Say you're magnificent. You are so special. Riding slow on Sunday morning, I never want to leave.
And so it is. See you next week.
Very nice.
Ah.